Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Meticulous Talks on April 13th. I'm cursedchords.
And I'm Hithroc.
How was your trip to BABSCon, Hithroc?
Was very good. We played a lot of Dictator.
Yeah, I did get that impression for sure. In every spare moment, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. It was fun. It was a good time. CCG was a good time. We had some uh, Chinese people, I think, drop in, bring us some cards with boxes. Apparently, they make really good trading cards over there in China. They looked pretty. The foils are nice. I grabbed some Trixies, and it was very nice. Good time.
Yeah, we saw some of those on stream.
They also had I don't know, acrylic slabs we would call them, like with ponies on them. Also was pretty good.
Hmm. Like
I don't
on.
think it was like a little acrylic plate with a print of a pony behind it.
Okay, with color.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds pretty
Uh,
cool. Yeah.
yeah. They looked pretty cool. I think it was just like regular vector, like from the show, so it wasn't like art or anything. But it was pretty nice, and yeah, the
And
lenticular cards were pretty good as well. Yeah, most of the lenticular cards that I saw were really good. I wish we had that.
yeah, yeah. But there was like a card tournament that happened too, right? Maybe two of them.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. I maybe even played in them.
Maybe, yeah. I know I watched them. Um, so yeah, we have the perspective of you from the floor, me on the commentary stream. Sorry. As mentioned, two events. There was an adventure tournament, quite well attended one, 16 participants, which is quite nice. And a cut to top 8, and a Highlander event, which is something we've never done or seen before in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly, that's the one that was most interesting to me, which was a little unfortunate because we only got 3 rounds on stream. And over the course of a game of Highlander, you see maybe a quarter of the deck. So there's still much to be learned about these decks.
Yeah.
Looking at their lists, with the exception of ours list, I guess. So that is actually where we're going to be focusing our attention for this stream, is on those Highlander events. The adventure tournament, well, we did see 5 rounds on Saturday, as well as the top cut matches. Excuse me for saying so, but yes, there's not much interesting stuff to talk about in the top 8.
It's Thorax, Mill, and a couple of other decks.
Yeah. We learned that Thorax can beat Mill because Day Shift is crazy, I think, basically.
I don't know if Day Shift is one of them, is what I would say. There's a lot of things in Thorax that make Thorax really good, like Defend the Hive, Birds of a Feather, Antoine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a single card that's like definitely pushes it over the edge. At least that's what I think.
Right. Well, the perspective we got on stream was definitely that.
Day Shift.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Day Shift makes the deck so much better. Not that it was, as you say, not that it needed as much of a boost, but boy, is it so good in that deck. The amount of AT that it saves you, and gives you the ability to basically DFO without even doing anything on the next turn. However, I do want to touch on your deck.
I spent so much time tuning it.
Yeah.
Thinking the exact number of puck wedges that it should have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For those unaware, oh sorry. Well,
No, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say for those of you unaware, because unfortunately we didn't get to see it on stream, and I was very sad by that. Your deck was Queen Nova main and correct me if I'm wrong. 1,337 puck wedges.
Yes.
And what I most wanted to know is how you managed that from a practical perspective.
Like, how did it work IRL?
Yes.
Well, obviously, I did not have a physical, a physical 1,000 puck wedges. So instead, I had a little piece of paper that said 1,301 plus, and next to the plus would be 6 dice, which would represent how many puck wedges I have on top of that. I also had dice to represent puck wedges in my hand and in my discard pile. And then I had actual, like maybe 20 actual puck wedges in case I play them, which I did. So it was an abstraction, you could say.
Okay. All right.
So, like, there is a question of, is that actually tournament legal? But, if nobody calls this judge, did it really happen?
Good question. Good point.
Like, and given that I did not have any other card, like, it is effectively the same. There's no gameplay difference to me doing this way compared to any other way.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, well, fair enough. That's a bit of a boring answer.
Did you think I had like a stack of cards? 1 meter tall?
I don't know. I think that would have been pretty cool.
It would be about 1 meter tall.
I mean, it would have been multiple stacks, presumably.
Oh yeah, probably, yeah. Just show up with the briefcase, like open it up. It's no puck wedges inside. Oh, that would have been funny. I should have done that.
Yeah.
1 million puck wedges. But yeah.
Yeah. And that was as a counter to mill, right?
I mean, it doesn't really counter mill because mill just mills itself. But yes, when I submitted the deck, I said it's not about winning, it's about sending a message.
Yeah.
Which is I'm a little tired of mill. It's not fun to play against, and I am personally, like, I'm very biased because mill is very good against the kind of decks that I play, which is like control decks, and the control you rely heavily on every tool you have. Mm-hmm. Where aggro, like if aggro loses some cards, okay, there's like more good cards in the deck. So like, I don't know, mill is just fairly good against what I play. So I did not want to like bother and just, okay, here you go, 1,000 puck wedges.
Sure.
I almost won the game against Thorax, which was surprising. I was only 1 turn behind. Puck wedges can be surprisingly fast if your opponent does not do anything about them.
That makes sense, right? Yeah, you are accelerating every turn.
Yeah. And the way I was playing it is that I would never flip Nova turn 1. And like in order to play puck wedges, I would use Infiltrating the Hive. And so the thing about Infiltrating the Hive is that in the beginning of the game, you will not gain enough AT to play every puck wedge you draw. So the fact that you discard card is not really relevant. Because like you're still gonna have more puck wedges than you can play per turn anyway in your hand. So it is basically pay 2 AT to get a token of any color you want, which would be yellow. Which was an interesting option to have. And yeah, with the token, I never flipped Nova turn 1, which meant I could use Nova sometime later for like an aggro boost.
Yep.
Moving all of the puck wedges is a pretty good thing. So I think so. Even though I didn't really win, like my one win is a bye. Although I think if Mayo did not drop, I would play against Minty, and maybe I would have won against Minty. I don't know, because both me and Minty have a bye, and we were supposed to match, but Mayo dropped.
Right.
But I think like it was surprisingly better than I expected. The deck. It did not win against Mill. I did get matched versus Cheese. Did not win.
Right.
But I did make some mistakes there. Maybe there was a chance, but who knows?
All right.
Anyway,
Fair enough. So I guess, yeah. One last notice before we switch into the Highlander. We did on the stream talk a little bit about if action were to be taken against Mill, what would the action be? And I don't know if this tournament really proved that case or not. But I perhaps would give you a chance to say something if you had an opinion on that.
I think the obvious hit is Octavia, because she gives you songs just two for free, and the fact that the counter, like the song that you play from her, also puts a counter on her, meaning you can play every other song for free. It's I think the strongest part about her. I was surprised to learn she does not exhaust herself. That's like so the I think if you hit Octavia, Mill will become weaker. I don't think it will be completely out of the game. I think Mill can work just fine without it. And yeah.
I broadly agreed with you. It's a way to hit the power level of the deck without destroying what the deck is trying to do. I think the card can be. There are certainly options for reforms. Just making it exhaust or making it not power itself, or all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, seems like a fairly obvious choice.
Yeah.
All right. So with that out of the way, let us turn our attention to the Highlander event. Excuse me. So for those unfamiliar, this was a special format that used the Harmony ban list, right?
Plus an extra card.
Oh, right. Plus Twilight.
There's a spell for that.
Yes, spell for that. Where your draw deck was minimum size 75, and you are limited to only a single copy of any card in your draw deck or problem deck. Unless you played Puck Wedgies, obviously.
I think it's not minimum 75. I think it had to be exactly 75.
Ah, okay. That would explain why Ara has exactly 75 Puck Wedgies in.
I'm not sure, but I think that's what the rules say.
Okay. So, I was really curious to see what people brought to this event. I had a couple of ideas on possibilities. I think broadly, you and Bugle did basically what I would have done. Or at least tried to do. In some kind of purple searching shenanigans, broadly control-ish.
What Bugle played. Oh yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, it is.
Right, I forgot.
The very first match we had on stream was you versus Bugle. I know.
That's right. So I looked at the results today. I was like, I don't remember a single match from this. And now the memory is coming back. Yes, we played on stream. Oh, it was a good time. It was a good match.
It was.
Well, I won. That's why it was good.
It was something. Yeah. It was a little bit hard to, frankly, hard to follow. Because it was just you guys searching for stuff all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, well, I guess we can just jump into the decks and talk about it.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, our normal deck viewer scene is not really made for decks this big. So, I'm just going to be showing the pony head screen directly here. In the case of Ara's deck, that's fine. This is still 75 Puck Wedgies.
Very simple.
Yeah. But when we get to the other ones, you'll You'll see why. Probably isn't much to say for this copy of what you played in Adventure, basically.
Yeah. Well, the problems are a little different because
Yeah.
problems also had to be one-offs, but otherwise, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just. Sorry.
I guess I want to bring up one little thing. Do you think there's any other main you could run with back wedges other than Novo?
Starlight.
Well, Novo is just better.
I mean, well, yes. Okay. You asked, is there any you could? Not.
Okay, sure.
Is there a better one?
You could run a lot of mains then. You could run Thorax if you really wanted to.
Right. But I do think Novo is probably the best choice. I mean, you could try Changeling Pretender, I guess.
Ah. Yeah. Yeah, because I think the entry does not matter because it just runs infiltrating, which gives you enough yellow. So Changeling Pretender is an interesting option. Yeah. Cool.
It is your wildcard ability in the deck, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love stealing Royal Tudor in my Pakwaji deck.
If only.
Okay.
Yeah. So right, so it is Bugle next in 7th place. Playing Dreamcatcher. I had to refresh myself on what exactly this card does.
It's you pay 3 to turn it over, and on the other side there's like a bunch of things. But the point is when you turn it face up, you search for an event, and you have that event now. And then at the start of some phase, you reveal the top card, it's something power less than blah blah blah. Turn the main back over. So the idea is that you flip a card that's high power. I think. Oh, you need to show a card from your hand.
Yes.
That has power more than the one that you flipped. And if that happens, Luna flips back, which means you can flip back her again and search for another event.
Yeah. So it's a 3 AT cycle to search for events.
Yeah. This card was on my mind when I was building my deck, but I figured Royal Tudor is just better because Royal Tudor is practically free. In this main, you need shenanigans and you need free AT to find one event, which makes every event that you play this way cost 3 more essentially, which is a lot of AT.
Yeah. So aside from that, pink, purple, just pink and purple, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right, yes. Pink and purple, significant proportion of events, 6, 12, 15, 21, 24. And I believe basically every AT generating friend in purple and pink I can think of.
Yep, I mean when you can only have one copy, you'll use what you can, which includes all team organizer.
Mm-hmm.
But they also used some AT gens that I did not have, like Shirley and Truffle.
Right.
I did not have them because they're not unicorns.
That's true. Okay, yeah. So for those, yeah, Hithroc played Celestia main.
Yeah, Royal Tudor.
Obviously, highly incentivizes unicorns and alicorns. And Bugle has a number of Earth ponies in here. Those cards just mentioned.
Yeah.
As well as a lot of pink stuff.
Yeah, so I guess Bugle thought the same thing as I did, where like, okay, if I have 75 cards, tutoring is really, really good because I can just, it doesn't matter how big my deck is, I can find whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's the idea behind this deck.
Yeah, and that was broadly my understanding sort of the way that I was going to approach it as well. Um, what Highlander, what you give up is consistency in having a single copy of everything. So any way to try to take some of that back, generally with searching for stuff, would be super great.
Yeah.
And Purple's ability to gain resources as an AT is also extremely useful because it just gives you more ability to navigate whatever your hand has given you at any given point.
Yeah. One big problem for a control deck in this format is that you can only run one Mistmate, which is not the problem for this deck because this deck does not run white at all, but
Right.
a consideration.
It is a fair point, yeah. Also, he's got...
I also love a single copy of Tranquility. That's funny.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
I think so too. I don't do that, but I think it's a card that just cycles itself. Like it's a free card. But then you might as well have what's the name of that card? Surprise Party Notes?
Right, that's the one that also just cycles itself for 0, right?
Well, the Tranquility is also for 0.
Yes, effectively.
Yeah. It's Surprise Party Notes is only if one of the players is above 8 points.
Right.
But I mean, still, yeah. But I guess that's what makes or breaks it. Because when you're both stacked on like 1 point, Surprise Party Notes is not as good. But yeah, as far as like event selection goes, it seems like it's just every good event out there.
Pretty much, yeah.
I like Friendship Summons. I wonder if there's like a way, because Luna, what Luna says is when the side of the card is turned face up, so it's not when you pay free. I wonder if there's like ways to cycle How About You to keep flipping your Luna, so you can search for events cheaper than free AT. This deck does not run How About You, which is interesting. I think it's worth it just for that. Like your Luna is in the start side, you play How About You, they win, you flip your main, you search for another event.
Right.
One AT search.
That's not bad, yeah. I actually missed that. So Friendship Summons, interestingly enough, if you have the AT, gives you the ability to search. Like, if you Friendship Summons up every pony's PFF, then you are a friend tutor now as well.
Yeah, but that's a lot of AT.
It's a lot of AT. It's a lot of AT.
You need to find Friendship Summons, which costs you 3, and then you play it, which costs you 2. And if you find PFF, that's extra 2, so like 7 AT to get 1 friend.
Yeah.
The
real play, you search for Friendship Summons, which gives you PFF, which searches you for Gyro, which searches for an event!
Amazing.
Amazing.
Oh, but you play Juggling Routine, so you search for Friendship Summons again.
Ah!
And let the cycle repeat. I wish Gyro was a unicorn.
You're not the first to have made that wish, I think.
I also wish Gyro was portable.
Yeah.
That would make my deck so much better.
I also just want to call out. Let's see. It's 15 troublemakers. A few that you don't see all over, but what is it? 7? No, wait, even more. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. No, 7 of them have no. 8 of them with 0 points. That's right. More than half of troublemakers in the deck have 0 points.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you'll just use what you can, right?
Mm-hmm. it made me wonder, do you think that in Highlander it would be okay to let mimics back in?
Ooh. You want people to play Tempest and turn 1 play Mimics?
Maybe.
I mean,
And there's only one of them in the deck? Maybe that's okay? Because you know, two of them was the real backbreaker, right?
so it's probably fine because what Mimics were really good for is all those pesky decks playing dilemmas all the time, avoiding troublemakers. But in Highlander, that's not really a concern because they can only run one copy of each dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
And there aren't that many dilemmas.
Yep.
Maybe it's fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I will refrain from commenting.
That, by the way, you reminded me. That was one of my main reasons why I didn't want to run aggro. Because I felt like you didn't have enough, excuse me, good anti-troublemaker tools in terms of dilemmas and events that got through it and such like that. Obviously, I was wrong given the amount of aggro that ended up relatively high on the list. Yeah.
I blame the timer.
Possibly. So moving along. Next up is Instagram running Fluttershy. Farm. Farm was the other archetype that I really wasn't expecting to see. Because I didn't think there were enough villains in Highlander for you to be able to really properly support it.
Epics, but yeah.
The epics, yes. I think I may have been wrong about that. Judging, well, how many are actually in here?
That Awizodle is an epic, I think.
Yes. $15, if I'm not mistaken. Basically all of them. Which is about so 15 is what is that? That's the fifth
I
of
counted
the deck.
17.
1, 5, 6, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay.
Awizodle,
Hoizodle, Chrysalis,
Chrysalis,
Sombra,
Sombra,
Nightmare
Star,
Hithroc,
Tyrek,
Discord,
Starlight,
Trixie,
Starlight,
Oh, I missed
Chrysalis,
Okay, there. Yeah.
Storm King, Ponyo of Shadows, Grogger, Legion of
Legion of
Doom,
Doom.
Nightmare Moon, Flashback Queen.
That's 60.
Oh, well, I guess we both miscounted by one.
Well, yeah. Anyway, yes, slightly more than a fifth of the deck. Epics, which is pretty good. That's about where farm decks usually end up, right? Actually, no, they usually go
with
to like
45 cards, though.
Yeah, and actually
Not
no,
75.
Yeah, they're usually like a third of the deck is epics, rather than a fifth. Yeah. Otherwise, make sure. So it's yellow, white, purple is the makeup, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Tempest Shadows Airship. Do you remember what that card does without looking it up?
It's something about moving troublemakers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But it lets you put your flipped troublemakers into your hand, which sounds pretty good.
That I did not remember.
Oh, Alicorn Amulet to make your other troublemakers epic.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Yes. So, does that mean that's pretty
There's
good?
no way to find you have to draw into it, but otherwise.
You have to draw into it. Well, so that makes me wonder if Isn't it Sweetie Belle main who gets resources back at your discard pile?
Yes.
Maybe.
What you're thinking running that main and recycling Alicorn Amulet all the time?
Maybe.
Mm. It does only cost one, and it's also like white, which is sweetest color, so yeah. But you need to find it first. It is an accessory, but like finding a single copy, like you cannot build your deck around that.
Yeah. Well,
It's like,
that's the thing about Highlander. You can't build your deck around anything, right? So like,
unless you run royalty.
yeah. So that kind of style, you would probably do like, yes, your farm would be one side, and you would do probably Pat's aggro the other side, and that would be the two pieces of your deck, I think.
Yeah.
And you navigate it as you draw it, which is, I think, that's my favorite part of Highlander, is that you build your deck, yes, but so much comes down to just the way the cards fall, and you kind of figuring out how to play it as it goes.
Yeah. Okay. Do you wanna?
Sure. Well, sure. You just want to get to your deck.
Oh, it's my deck. No, I did not know that was my deck.
Well, it is your deck.
So my deck. There's actually a lot going on here at the same time. It's a weird deck. So it is a portal deck, but it is also not a I don't know how to describe it. But it started with me just like, okay, I'm playing Roll Tutor, just let's put good cards into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up running 3 colors, which was white, pink, and purple.
Right. White makes a lot of
And
sense.
yeah. And thanks for Lyra. So see that Lyra at the top? She at the very
This one.
top.
Yep.
She is the savior because she is a pink unicorn entry.
Hmm. Fair enough.
It's it was very challenging to find a thing that will enter me into pink, other than Fleam and Flam, that will be searchable. And if it's not searchable, that's kind of bad. Like that's not a chance that I'll find it.
That was your philosophy with this deck. If it's not searchable, it basically doesn't exist.
Yeah, like there's only so all of the friends here are unicorns except I think 2, and those 2 friends are Gyro and Mayor Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And Mayor Mayor is like, I mean, if I find her, that's
No.
nice. If I don't,
No.
then whatever.
Rainbow shines with Pegasus as well.
Oh, that's right. Rainbow Shine was also good enough to uh let me step away from the unicorn thing. But everyone else is unicorn or alicorn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so the idea was to tutor blah blah blah. It's a pretty simple idea. Just put good events in, put a bunch of good unicorns in. But there's a lot of synergies here in this deck, and all most of which are searchable because they're all unicorns, which I really liked. I honestly do not remember who else I played against. Like I just don't. I remember the Bugles game because you reminded me of it. But the rest of the tournament, I just blank out. I don't remember losing. I don't remember winning. I just don't remember.
Hmm.
I think I played against Sokol's deck, maybe. That's the only thing I could remember. But yeah, the ideas in this deck is so first of all, there's a portal synergy. First of all, you have portals. You have on the trail, which is your removal, which you can find
Mm-hmm.
with Royal Tutor. And you also have Minuet, which is repeatable portal. If you find those 2 cards, the opponent will have a bad time because you'll just be removing their things every turn. Uh, on the trail is not as good as Old Money would have been if she was legal,
Mm-hmm.
but because it's just putting on top of the deck. But it's good enough. Another thing that's searchable here is Bodyguard, which is also really good because you keep getting unicorns when you remove stuff. It's really
Mm-hmm.
nice. Um, and you can also do. And there's also Trenderhoof, the teamwork one, which gives you unicorns, a thing where you can recycle stuff from your discard pile. And that is your recursion. You can get stuff back, like events, and keep removing stuff or something else. And all you have to do for that is to retire a unicorn token, which you can do for bodyguard, or you can do it from minuet, that is eccentric minuet that retires a friend and puts a +1 power counter. So like there's a lot of these things that kind of work together, and you can like search for any of them. And I really liked about that. I really like that about this deck. In theory, you could also mist main loop with minuet. You retire mist main, get her back, and so on.
Oh, yeah, I guess that works, doesn't it?
Yeah, it costs you 5 AT, but you can bring it up to 4 AT if you use Trenderhoof, because you retire mist main, you get the unicorn token, then you retire unicorn token, you pay 1 to get back mist main, and you continue. So in theory, you could cycle mist main for 4 with just 1 mist main. And all of what I just described is searchable, and bodyguards, you probably want them on your board anyway, so it's not like you need them from mist main. Then you also have exposed and troublemakers, so you can cycle troublemakers as well. I don't have 15 troublemakers, I have only 6, but 6 troublemakers is fine.
Yeah.
And I have sneak attack, so there is a chance I might draw into a troublemaker.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
bring up that you, have a lot less troublemakers, but
I do have exposed. That's the idea. Is that
Yeah.
I just find one and that's what I use.
you have much more removal and recursion on it. So I think it works.
Yeah. I like this deck. It has a lot of nice little shenanigans going on everywhere. It's a cute deck. That's what I would call it. I think it's a cute deck.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. You explained it all pretty well. This is, as I said, this kind of thing broadly was what I probably would have done. Nobody did the other thing that I thought about doing.
Which is?
It would have been a Gallus control deck, actually. Probably blue, orange. And, lots of events and, kind of old school the way Gallus control used to work, right?
Yeah, yeah. Do you have enough events for that?
I think you do. Between
I
blue
guess,
and
yeah. But didn't you just say orange?
maybe. I mean, I guess I didn't focus too hard. Maybe you do blue purple. Who knows? Whichever color you need to get all the events in.
I think pink is a good option. You get a lot of immediate removal.
Right, blue pink, and then it's a Griffin deck on the side. That's a thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blue pink, you get yoinks, you get juggling routine to recycle stuff, you get a lot of things.
Yeah, I think that would have been an option as well. Anyway, moving right along.
Yep.
Next up is Grandpa's playing Yona and Sandbar. And I remember he was on stream playing against someone, Instagram, I think. And it wasn't... Well, so they got 2 games in, actually. Because the first game was basically just Grandpa's drawing RTO and Neighlander in his opening hand. And it was just like, oh, well, I win the game. But after that, they played again, and they had a much, much nicer game. Much closer. But yeah, this is blue, white.
Hats?
Hats. Well, yes. I was gonna question whether. I mean, this is just all fast. I think. I mean, there's stack of
There's
suitcases.
a lot of hats.
There's a little bit of mid-ranginess in here, but it's mostly just all hats aggro. Yes.
Yeah. You get endless generosity. You get radiance to find your hats. Get RTO. Stygian. Kerfuffle. Just hats. So when Highlander was announced, would you think hats would be one of the decks?
It wasn't on my radar. No. Like, yes, there are a lot of hats around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, this deck's got basically all of them. Well, not all of them. Actually, this is mostly the post-Equestrian Odysseys hats, right? There aren't many Premier Block ones in here.
Are there good Premier Block hats?
Um,
Let's find
fair.
out.
Not
Well,
really,
Dressed
I
Up
don't think.
is one of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, but yeah, it's in here.
Oh yeah, Marvelous Chapeau. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the card that if it didn't have the minus like it was printed,
Mm-hmm.
would be an amazing card. Crazy.
No mistake at all. Fully intended.
But yeah, it's interesting that this is consistent enough. I guess there's a chance you'll find the hat and you'll use it, or you find the tutor. But yeah, I guess when you draw into a Night Glider and RTO in the starting hand, that's a little different.
Yeah. So the interesting thing, of course, is playing Yona and Sandbar as the main. You have that requirement, of course, to use all your AT in the first couple turns. Now, of course, you can just draw cards if you need to. So I guess it's not that big
Yeah.
of a deal. But still, that incentivizes you to put a lot of entry in your deck. I would think, at least, right?
I mean, this format generally incentivizes you to put a lot of entry into your deck, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need it.
Yeah, that's fair. I think about it. Well, right. You start. Well, actually, he's got both train editions and. Well, yeah, he's starting train editions, right? Usually, I think so.
Probably, yeah. Otherwise, why is it here?
Yeah. So that means that you're not. You don't have +1 on your main to start. Which means. I'm just thinking. So he's got a good amount of blue entry. In fact, most of his blue cards could be considered entry, honestly.
There are 12 cards with one requirement.
Oh yeah, top there. Good point. Yes, and 8 of them in white. So yeah, okay, yeah. So it's well. Not that I guess I doubted it's well populated. Yeah.
With the 5 entry blue cards, it's what 17 cards that you can play right away. 17 cards is what 20% of the deck.
It's slightly more than 20%. Yeah, just pretty good. Yeah.
22%. Yeah, I think there's a fair chance you'll have one of the cards.
Right.
Well, I guess technically it's 16 cards because one of the cards with one rec is a limb actuator, which is not useful.
Right. That counts. I mean, there's also the.
But you also have dig dip, which is entry, join the herd.
Right. Right.
And the rush makeover and regular makeover not useful in the beginning.
Right. I was going to mention staff as well.
Oh yeah, good
Fire
point.
friendship
Staff.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, staff, fire friend. Yeah, there's plenty of entry here.
Hmm. Hmm. Anyway, and then
Imagine not just being able to find your entry.
I mean that would be a you problem if it would be anyone, I assume.
But yeah, I like this deck. I did not expect hats in Highlander.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on up. Next up is Sokol. Playing Tyrek mate.
Yeah. I think I played against this, but I cannot remember. I'm just total blank.
I know I didn't see. I think he was on stream once. but I did not, as natural, we did not see much of the deck. So let me get a feel for these cards now. A bit hasty, a little bit of traveler, a little bit of frightened. This is mono blue, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of vanilla events, or no requirement events, actually, as I'm looking at it. This is, so wait a second, okay. Lots of troublemakers, but virtually no epics, so that says control. I think.
Yeah, also Hithroc main helps with that.
Hmm.
Oh, is that? Yeah, I think I played against this deck. Memory coming back. Because I remember Tree of Harmony being played against me. And something else.
Oh, Tree of Harmony is
A troublemaker.
right. It's the troublemaker. That's right. I mean, it is a resource too. That's that's what I was looking for at first. Forgot it is also a troublemaker. Yes.
But yeah, in my game, I think we both like. I think what happened is I could not confront, and he could not confront, and I had prospecting interruption. I think so. We were like, the game was at a standstill for a while, and then he got Spitfire, the one that immediately defeats the troublemaker,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of turned the game around because I could not prevent him from confronting anymore, or something like that. But yeah. But that was I did not expect to see a Hithroc main. I had
Yeah.
to read that one because I did not remember what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and yeah. And I don't know if I can call this deck control. Like, yeah, there's a ton of
No,
troublemakers
yeah,
here.
it's got the ability to play control, but it also has the ability to be faster too.
Yeah, there's like a lot of just blue go fast stuff.
Yeah. Which, as I kind of mentioned, as themes go, yeah. If you want to, yeah, as I said before, you play the way the cards land for you,
Yeah.
and the way the opponent, well, forces you to. If, as mentioned, if you're up against Hithroc, you're gonna be the aggro, almost certainly playing this deck.
I like the single copy of Stuck Together. I think he played it against me. I was like, oh yeah, right, he has dilemmas. And it's unfortunate that he found some. But apparently he only has
Just
a
the one
single
copy.
copy.
Yep.
That
Just
makes
the
me
one
more
dilemma.
upset. That makes me even more upset. Because if I remember right, which I don't probably, the game went as like I tried to take control of the game and I was right on the edge of doing that, but then I couldn't. And with a 35-minute timer, there's no way to catch up to a faster deck without having control of the game.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, and so there is no search here, right? This is purely
No, this is just
yeah,
Well, I
purely
think there's that. Yeah, there's the Rainbow Dash that finds you a dilemma.
right.
So in a way, you have two copies of Stack Together. As far as drawing it is concerned.
Right. But otherwise, this is the Highlander ideal of you draw your hand and you play what you get.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wanna talk about Max's deck?
Want to talk about Hot Wings?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Him and Ivory both played kind of sort of Hot Wings, right? And if I recall correctly, yes, we had. Yes, Max versus Ivory was one of the games that was on stream. I remember that.
Is it the same deck?
Well, I doubt it's exactly the same deck, but it's broadly the
Okay.
same.
Yeah, it looks broadly the same, but Max has orange swirl because it's a 1 for 2. Ivory does not have that.
Man, that's a pretty good card back in the day.
Is that like okay? What else is different? So Max has orange swirl, and Ivory has instead of orange swirl, he has purple waters, which is the same as orange swirl but pink.
Let me just shift on over. Find it here. It was orange swirl but pink.
Yep, Ivory does not have gummy, the pink entry gummy.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, Ivory has what does Ivory have? Professor of no, hold on, no. It's so hard to see exactly what is different.
Right.
The cards be shifting around. Okay, the more I scroll, the more different their decks become.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's Chrysalis and like other stuff.
That's the coolness to it, honestly. Like, yes, these are both effectively Hot Wings. Actually, the problem deck is a good place to look because those are probably almost exactly the same. Yes, the only difference is
Pearl
Max,
Heist versus
yeah,
Foolish Argument.
versus
I
Foolish.
think
Yeah.
Foolish Argument is objectively better.
Yes, I'm a little like yeah. That was the card I was expecting to see in everybody's decks. I think Max might be the only one who didn't run it.
Yeah, even I ran it and I'm a control deck. It's good for control, that card.
Good for everyone. Um, so yeah, even as I say, with effectively the same problem deck, there's lots of different choices that get made down in the draw deck when you have to extend out to 75 unique cards. Like when it's 45 and people are effectively choosing 50, 55 cards, say for example. It's well known what the best options are, but when you pull that out that far, people are going to make different decisions down the list on what exactly tickles their fancies. And that, yeah. Highlander gives you that opportunity to express yourself a little bit more in even just the little choices that you make to fill your deck out with.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, as far as like the deck as a whole is concerned, seems like just Hot Wings with a bunch of other good pink
Yeah.
cards
Well,
and blue cards.
It's interesting also because it is kind of for a deck like Hot Wings, it has kind of the pedigree to it. It's been around for a while. This also kind of plays a little bit like a greatest hits of sort, where all the cards that used to be in Hot Wings back in the day also get put into this because they are they were useful in their time, right?
Like Lyre and Bonbon.
Yeah, Lyra Bonbon, Hasty Princess Cadence from Marks in Time, Sonata. I remember Sonata being in Hot Wings.
That's right. I played against Max. I remember now. Because he was using Lyre and Bonbon, and then I was trying to remove it with oh yeah. Oh, that was the time. So yeah, my other two games were Sokol and Max. I remember now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fast.
Yeah. Boy, having Angel Wings in your opening hand in this kind of the deck, oh, that's just beautiful. She's good enough when you got 3 of her in the deck, but Wouldn't it feel amazing to draw your single copy of Angel Wings to start off a game with a deck like this?
Yeah.
That's
I mean, there's a lot of cards here that I'll be happy to see in my opening hand. Wildfire, Fire Bonbon, Pipsqueak. But Angel Wings, yes. She do be special.
I gotta say, even just looking at these decks makes me like, oh, I wish I had been there. I really hope that they keep this up, that this format survives and gets tried again, because I think there's so much fun to be had here, both in building and in playing.
I still think a Royal Tutor is the strongest because tutoring is just so powerful. Like, if somebody actually spent time thinking about min-maxing a deck like that, I think it has a lot of potential. Because that's not what I did. I was like, what I did is like, oh, this card is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going through a mall and like putting things in the shopping cart.
yeah, exactly. It's like the way that I tend to build decks even for regular constructed, except in this,
same.
In this, you don't have to do the cutting. It's great.
Oh, so it was actually funny. I forgot that that you have to have exactly 75 cards. So I chose a bunch of cards, and then I ended up with like 60 or something like that. It's like, oh, I need to cut. So I cut it down to 50. And then I remembered, oh, wait, it's 75 cards. Time to add everything back. And then I was like, wait, I need even more cards now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah. I kind of was flipping back and forth between Noxus and Ivory's deck, so kind of just consider them in togetherness. They're both hot wings.
Yeah, they're very similar. It's barely any difference though.
All right. Well, I think that was BABSCon.
Yeah, we kind of skipped completely adventure almost completely, but there's not much to talk about there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, honestly, because it was a very successful tournament. Don't want to gloss over that. And the games that we saw were not boring, but the results are a little bit expected.
Usual, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we will see what happens to Thorax and maybe Mill and what's in the future for adventure for us.
We shall see for sure. Yeah.
Imagine adventure without Thorax and Mill. What deck would be the best one?
Without Thorax and Mill. Well, I mean, there's
without Thorax being as powerful and Mill being
sure.
I guess.
Yeah, knock those down a bit. Well, so last year BABSCon was the Tempest Orange thing, still on top of Tia. I have to assume that would come back.
That's a good point.
Yeah, without Mill around, then all of the control decks come back and they're suddenly not completely dead anymore.
Yes.
So, yeah.
See, this is adventure I want. Even though I personally a bigger fan of Tempest Pink compared to Tempest Orange, but even then, down with the Mill.
We shall have to see. Yeah.
We will see.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of what we wanted to talk about today, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We are back on a regular schedule, which means our next stream is going to be 2 weeks from now, April 27th. I want to say a big thank you to everybody out in the chat who was with us for this stream. Thanks for making time for us today. Otherwise, I think I've run out of things to say. Anything else from you, Hithroc?
Nope.
All right. Then we will see everyone in a couple of weeks.
Bye.
Bye.